broken heart does not shatter, it calcifies. I have seen a man lose his fortune and laugh it off. I have seen a man lose his health and bear it with stoic grace. But I have never seen a man survive the unmaking of his heart without being fundamentally, irrevocably changed. It is the singular catastrophe of the human experience. For when a shared life fractures, it is not the future that is lost, it is the past that is poisoned. Every memory, every whispered promise in the dark, every photograph, all of it is retroactively assigned a new, terrible meaning. They become not treasures, but evidence of your own blindness or your failure or your profound capacity to be wrong. You walk through the ghost town of your former life. You see the chair where they once sat. You hear the echo of their laughter in a room that is now far too quiet. This is not mere sadness. This is a form of death. The death of a world you built together. And you are left as the sole survivor, tasked with the impossible, to breathe life into the ashes. You will be told to move on. You will be told that time heals all wounds. These are well-intentioned lies, spoken by those who have forgotten the true topography of grief. Time does not heal. It simply provides the distance for the scar tissue to form. And a scar is not a sign of healing. It is a sign of what did not kill you, but forever changed the landscape of your skin. Do not seek to forget. Do not seek to erase. That is a violence you do to your own history. Instead, you must pick up the shards of what was and examine them, not with the bitterness of a judge, but with the curiosity of an archaeologist. What here was true? What was illusion? What pattern of mine led me here? What weakness did I conceal? What strength did I neglect? This pain is your teacher. It is the most brutal and honest instructor you will ever have. It will not lie to you to spare your feelings.
The solitude that follows is not your enemy. It is your cocoon. It is the necessary quarantine of the soul. In this silence, you will meet the person you became within that union, and you must decide if you wish to keep that company. For we often lose ourselves in the merging, don't we? We sand down our edges to fit another's grip. We abandon our own rhythms to march to a shared drum. And in the end, we are left with neither the partner nor the self we sacrificed. This ending is not a verdict on your worth. It is a lesson in alignment. It is the universe in its cruel and merciful way, forcing a course correction. The heart that calcifies around the wound is not becoming weaker. It is creating a foundation, a harder, wiser, more resilient foundation upon which to build a life that will not crumble under the weight of another's expectations or your own desperate need to be loved. You are not ruined. You are under reconstruction. The blueprint has been burned, and for now, that is a gift. You get to draw a new one, this time, not for two, but for one. For the one who must remain when everyone else has gone. For the one who must live with the choices. For you. The silence after a fight is not peace. It is the echo of a door closing. There is a sound more deafening than any shouted insult. It is the sound of silence, where conversation used to live. It is the quiet click of a phone set down without a goodbye. It is the void that grows in the space between two people lying back to back in a shared bed, a chasm wide enough to lose a lifetime in. This is how most loves truly die, not in a blaze of fury, but in a slow, relentless frost. One unspoken hurt at a time, one unmet glance, one kindness withheld. You begin to speak a language of stone. Your words become functional, transactional. Did you pay the bill? What time will you be home? The poetry is gone. The music of your connection has faded to a dull, flat hum. You are not partners building a world. You are roommates managing a household. You confuse the absence of conflict for the presence of peace, but it is not peace. It is surrender. It is the quiet, desperate truce of two armies too exhausted to fight anymore, left to stare at each other across a field of their own making, littered with the bodies of dead dreams. This is the great tragedy, the slow, mundane unraveling. There is no single villain to blame, no grand betrayal to point to as the cause. It is death by 1,000 paper cuts, a neglect so subtle you don't even notice the bleeding until you have grown pale from the loss. You mourn the loss of the person in front of you long before they are gone, because the essence of them, the joy, the light, the easy camaraderie, has already vanished, replaced by a familiar stranger. And in this stress, this constant, low-grade anxiety of a dying thing, you make your life small. You tread on eggshells in your own home. You edit your thoughts before you speak them. You swallow your disappointments until they become a hard, indigestible stone in your gut. This is the true cost, not the heartbreak of the end, but the slow, soul-crushing stress of the prolonged decline. It drains your vitality. It steals your focus. It makes you a lesser version of yourself in every other arena of your life. Your work, you built a prison for two, and you were both the warden and the inmate. We do not simply enter relationships, we build them. And with every dream, every hope, every unspoken demand, we add a bar to the cage. We enter love with a blueprint of how it should be, how they should be. The picture in our mind becomes a contract they never signed. And when they inevitably fail to live up to the phantom in our head, we feel betrayed. We sentence them to a term in the prison of our disappointment. But you are in that cell with them. You are the warden, yes, but you are also the inmate. You pace the same small floor. You stare out from between the same bars. The stress of a failed marriage is often the stress of this cognitive prison. The constant, grinding tension between the life you are living and the life you believed you were promised. The fairy tale that curdled into a bitter reality. You expected a sanctuary. You received another source of conflict. You expected a partner to shoulder the load. You found another weight to carry. You expected to be known, to be seen, to be cherished. You felt managed, tolerated, alone. This dissonance, this gap between expectation and reality, is a wound that never closes. It aches in the rain of every small disagreement. It throbs in the quiet of every indifferent evening. The key to the prison is not in their hands. It is in yours. It is the brutal, liberating act of throwing away the blueprint, of incinerating the contract they never agreed to. You must mourn not just the person, but the story of how it was supposed to be, the future you had painted in your mind. That story is a ghost, and it will haunt the halls of your present for as long as you allow it to live. Let it go. Grieve for it, then bury it. True love is not about finding someone to live up to your expectations. It is about finding someone who makes you want to abandon all expectations and simply be together in the messy, unpredictable, beautiful reality of what is. And if that cannot be, then your freedom lies in abandoning the expectations you hold for yourself within a union. To stop trying. In the wreckage of us, you must find the blueprint for IA relationship, particularly a marriage, is a merger of kingdoms. You lower your drawbridge. You let another inside your walls. You entrust them with the keys to your city. And when the alliance falls apart, your kingdom is left sacked and burned. The fields are salted. The treasury is empty. You stand in the center of the ruin, and the silence is a scream. Your first instinct will be to find another ally, to rush into a new union to help you rebuild. This is the greatest folly. It is building on a foundation of rubble. You will bring the ghost of your old war into your new peace. You will man your new walls with the paranoia of the last invasion. Number. You must now become your own sovereign. You must learn to rule the kingdom of yourself alone. This is the most important work of your life. It begins with an audit. What remains? What was destroyed? What was taken? And what did you willingly give away? You must take inventory of your own spirit, your values, your boundaries, your joys that existed long before they ever knew your name. This is not a time for seeking. It is a time for excavation. Dig through the ash and find the cornerstone of your character. It is still there. The stress you feel is the weight of this responsibility. It is the overwhelming task of being entirely your own architect, your own soldier, your own keeper. There is no one to blame, no one to hide behind, no one to fix it for you. This burden, however, is also your liberation. For the first time in a long time, every decision is yours. Every choice, every victory, and every failure will be yours alone to claim. This is how you forge an iron will. This is how you build a soul that cannot be easily rattled. Learn to dine alone at your own table and enjoy the silence. Learn to walk the ramparts of your own mind and find peace in the solitude. Learn to defend your borders against the invasions of others' opinions and the pity of well-meaning friends. Your kingdom may be small for now. It may be just you within these walls, but it is yours. And its security, its prosperity, its peace is entirely your domain. A sovereign does not need another to complete their kingdom. They may choose an alliance, a partnership of two independent states, each strong on their own. coming together in a treaty of mutual respect and growth, but they never again surrender their crown. Rebuild your kingdom, stone by stone.